Thank you, man. Morning, everybody. I'd like to call the Washington County Public Works Committee to order for this January 30th, 10 a.m. session. With that, I get a motion, please, to accept the minutes for the November 28th, 2023 meeting. Jay, thank you, sir. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, department reports, we're gonna flip flop. The reason why is we actually have a topic, Public Works, where we'll just go to executive session. Then we'll kind of put that towards the end, right? Make it a little easier. So with that, sewer district, sir, where's yours?
Sure. Number one, we have to do a budget amendment. This is for our capital planning project, our capital improvement plan, you may know it as. We did the same budget amendment last year. We just didn't incur any costs last year. We went out to RFP, request for proposals, towards the end of 2023. So we're looking at a contract now. We're gonna incur costs this year. So we just need to do a simple budget amendment to put the money in that line, so we pay for the services when they happen.
Move it amendments.
Move it to finance.
Thank you. We got a second by a number of folks. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'm sorry if I don't have the right numbers, or I was looking at a few years ago, but the Drifting Ridge sanitary sewer overflow, that's what SSO means, and notice of violation. This is kind of an informational point. I just want to let everybody know. We had a couple sanitary sewer overflows in that development in Drifting Ridge. That means it was sanitary sewer escaping the system. It was coming out through a manhole. It was due to stormwater, heavy rain. So what we do in that situation is we report it. We had 2 or 3 of them in December. The New York State DEC came back to us and issued us a notice of violation. They required us to come up with a plan for corrective action. So we did that. We submitted the plan already as fast as we could. We did some preliminary investigation. We saw a couple things that we can change, but I just want to let the committee know we're working on it. And we think by fixing the majority of the sewer laterals going from the sewer main to the houses, and also fixing some of the drainage issues, we'll work with the village as much as we can on that. We think that'll go a long way in preventing this from happening again.
Sir.
Drifting Ridge, that's on the other side of the canal, right?
Yes.
Is that a more modern development up in there?
It is newer. I believe most of the homes went in the 90s. Our records and past emails say the construction wasn't done properly, for lack of a better word.
Well, where is the responsibility of the sewer district to connect? I know that lately there's been some discussions on up in Kingsbury with the new development on, you know, whose responsibility is what and how it's connected, and where does the sewer district stop and start? If this is coming from within the development, stormwater, why is that your responsibility or the sewer district and not the homeowner?
Well, it may be a combination of both. The way the sewer laws are written is the homeowner is responsible from the house to the clean out or the property line.
Okay.
So if the problem is on that side, typically the homeowner is responsible, financially responsible, you know, to our inspection. The reason you have to get involved in this situation is because the sewer is escaping our system. So we're the permittee as far as the Department of Environmental Conservation is concerned. So,
But it is where it enters the system is where the problem is, right? And is that on the sewer district side or is that on the homeowner side?
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
Oh, so you might, in other words, homeowners still might be responsible for correcting the problem.
Yes, depending on what we find. The homeowner is responsible from the building to the property. You know, throughout all the entire district.
And what if they say, I can't afford to fix that, or, you know, you accepted it once, it's not my responsibility now? Is it, I mean, I'm just asking questions because I can't believe a new, something that modern, there'd be any stormwater problem leaking into it. It seems like you'd be up to date on it.
There shouldn't be. It's supposed to be a sanitary system that they're not combined. You know, there shouldn't be any type of rain or groundwater getting in, but it is. And we're gonna figure out where and go from there. Our plan that we submitted was to kind of reevaluate in July, do all the investigating we can, fix what we can from now until July, and then reevaluate. Hopefully by then I'll have more information on what exactly is going on.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask you about the timelines, the state usually mandates some of that. What's it?
Yeah, so they asked us for a long-term corrective plan. But they wanted it pretty quickly. As I said, we got notified and respond within 2 or 3 weeks. So we did that. And our proposal, if they approve it, is to kind of evaluate for a 6-month window, fix what we can, you know, the immediate things we find, fix them right away. But as far as if it becomes some sort of infrastructure project, you know, that's gonna be a little bit more in depth, the funding and things like that. So that'll be the July deadline. But we may, fix enough between now and July that they stop and would be it. So by they, I mean the overflows. We have found some major problems with the drainage in the area, which is our concern, but we're gonna, you know, we're notifying the village, and if we get that fixed, and that could benefit us as well.
In other words, once it gets to the street, you own it.
Within the main, yeah,
Okay.
within the pipes.
I mean, the overflow out of manhole, that's a lot of leak.
Yep.
In a new system.
Yep, takes a good amount of pressure to come back to the sewer manhole.
It's clear.
Seems like last time there was an issue with the wipes and they were making a mess and it was very costly to fix.
Yeah, that's typically if it's a dry weather overflow, things like, you know, that could be caused by some sort of obstruction, wipes or foreign object. But this is specifically when it rains. Our conditions just can't keep up.
That's the reason.
Any other questions about drifting ridge?
Number 3, the reappointment. We have a couple board of commissioners members that are due for reappointment. So we just need a resolution reappointing those. Everybody agrees. The ones that are up now are Fiorillo. He is the Village of Hudson Falls designee. Washburn is the Town of Kingsbury Supervisor designee. Masco, the Fort Edward Town resident. Carpenter, the Fort Edward Village resident. And we also have a vacancy for the Village of Hudson Falls trustee, which I don't have any names for that.
There's a draft resolution in the packet. Motion moved. Fisher, second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Oops. Motion carried.
Number 4, another informational point. Just want to let the committee know we, the Board of Commissioners, have lifted the moratorium on the out of district new connection permits. The local laws have been addressed and the moratorium is lifted. So I'll let everybody know on that. Number 5, this is some good news, great news actually. We received 2 award letters since we last met for 2 different grants that the sewer district applied for and received. The bigger one is $6.3 million bipartisan infrastructure law grant. That was huge. It was for our wastewater treatment plant upgrade project we already have going. We already planned on long-term borrowing 12 or 14 million. So we just found out we're getting 6.3 million taken off of that. So that benefits the entire district, its ratepayers, and find some more improvements to get with that money.
Is that info only? Do we need to do anything on it?
That's right. It was finance.
Thank you, sir. Motion to move to finance by Chase. Cassie. Discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Number 6, we have some overnight stay requests. They weren't on the travel form. We didn't know back then.
You got another grant, don't you?
I'm sorry, no?
You got a second grant.
Oh, you need a motion for both of them? Okay.
All right. Motion to recognize the 1.4 million WIA grant. Cassie, second by Tim. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I didn't think anyone wanted to turn down money, so that's good news.
We went over the moratorium pass. I had a question on
Sure.
that. Didn't Roger, was he not involved in reviewing that when that was written? He didn't get a chance to review it?
I don't know.
He said that the commissioner signed off. Why isn't the county attorney reviewing it also, since we were involved in it in the get-go? Because it was all over an issue of a mistake in the writing, wasn't it? And could our county attorney review it also before it's just?
I know we planned on it, but
I remember it going through committee.
The commissioners adopted the moratorium. You guys, not what's the word, but
we voted on it.
approved it, but
You had the hearing.
endorsed it. You endorsed it.
Roger, that.
Went to public hearing.
Yeah.
Dan from Bell.
Yeah.
But did he review the writing of it, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think Roger was very much involved in writing of it.
Okay. No, that was all. It went by here so fast. I just wanted to make sure it was done. It said the commissioners approved it, but we didn't, so I didn't know. That means we don't have to.
No, we endorsed
did.
it.
We voted it.
We voted on it,
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was we endorsed rewriting it, and that I didn't know that it had been corrected. We approved that, what you're saying.
We voted.
I didn't know that.
January 2nd, the organization approved January 2nd.
Okay, thank you. That was all.
Yeah, there was some discussion about some folks that were disputing that change. And those are the users.
Oh, yeah, I know.
How it
Oh,
impacts them.
and the thing of it is, we all agreed on what we wanted in it, but I didn't know if, once it was written, if it was reviewed. That's all.
Because they came.
Yes, sir, it was. All right. Overnight stay request?
Yes, overnight stay request. We have a couple operator trainees that are gonna go to operator school this year, which requires overnight stay. I don't know how specific I need to be, but that covers it. And then there's also a training conference that I would like to attend, which requires overnight stay.
Where are these located?
The schooling is at SUNY Morrisville. That would be for a total between the two guys of 5 weeks of schooling. The conference is at Turning Stone.
So what's
Is it in the,
No,
yeah, so where's the, coming out of the budget?
it's budgeted for.
Oh.
We have a training travel line of our budget.
But you just didn't submit it as part of the travel.
Right, I didn't know dates or one of the trainees we just hired recently, so I don't know.
Deb, is this a direct approval or do we meet with the personnel?
committee approval?
It's right here, yeah.
Jay, you gonna do it?
I'm open.
Tim and Paul? Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, go learn there.
And then the last item is just the change order, $5,768. It's for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade project. Basically, they were digging for a tank, part of our original scope and design, and they had to do a lot more digging to fill out due to the ground conditions. So we have to approve a change order for that amount. Those change orders for that contract have to go through these channels.
Is there enough in the budget to cover that? A motion?
Move with finance.
Did you say yes?
Say again?
Yeah, it's gonna come out of the project contingency.
We say you need a budget amendment. Or you have enough in that line already, you said.
Yes.
You have enough.
So we still have a motion to move to finance. We got Jay, Tim. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Anything else, sir?
No.
Any other questions for the committee? Ma'am?
Oh, I don't.
We're gonna have a broader discussion with the department heads coming up, so. Short answer, yes, but it's a broader issue than a one-off.
Well, he was kind of new still, so I didn't know. It was a good time.
We're reviewing that policy now and we'll be rolling it out with the department heads soon. You'll see it as well.
Val, thank you for catching the two-part grant. We got that all covered.
I'm always happy to take money, sir.
Oh, yeah, we got to make sure we do that. All right. Yeah. Good luck with the state. All right. Floor is yours.
Wow, 15 minutes. That's,
You have a goal.
good luck with that. So, the auction list got sent out. These are, vehicles. So when we have vehicles that we want to sell, we have to declare them as surplus. And these are the two that we would like approval to declare as surplus.
So motion declared. Thank you. Second. Second. All right. Any other discussion on that? Yes, sir.
At the last, I think it was the last meeting, not it was going before that, there was concern about the low mileage on older cars and there was a lengthy discussion. And you were going to, I asked Jay and he thought I was correct in my thinking that you were going to come up with some approach or some policy on how to try to increase the use of older cars with low mileage. And I was wondering how you made out with that, since I see one of these is 2012 with only 74,000 now.
Yep. So Melissa and I have been meeting with department heads that we've identified as possibly or potentially working with getting more mileage on the cars. And we haven't completed that task yet. So we're still working on it. We didn't want to come to you when we're not complete. We've had a couple of departments that we haven't been able to meet with yet. So we want to make it fair to everybody so we can talk about that. So we'll try to bring that back for the next month.
Thank you.
And this Ford Focus, I did talk to Jamie about why we were taking it out of service now with low miles on it. This is the last one of the Ford Focuses that has the potential for transmission issues. So the other Ford Focuses that were 2012, that vintage year was not a good transmission year. We lost, I think, 2, maybe 3 of them to the transmissions in the past. We would like to get it out before that happens.
Yeah, you interested in buying?
Not allowed,
You didn't
not
write it
now,
up yet.
but I got enough grandchildren. Yes, I'm interested.
Any other discussion?
I was just wondering, I'm sorry,
Yes, Paul?
I was wondering why we don't buy different cars that have a resale value. Because I've seen what we get for these and it's giving them away. You know, I would like to see someone with try a Toyota or something.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we all
may
know
be able to
what the cars
apply.
are going for.
Or the electric ones?
Yeah.
No,
maybe-
don't bring that up.
Wait, well, best value
Tim
does,
just hit Jay. I can't-
it can apply in best value and not low cost, I mean, so. Yeah. All depends on what we want to do in the future.
Oh, we did?
And then you guys will want to know why we're selling them because they still have resale value. It's losing.
So we do know that carpool is also going to be, so there's a lot going on, you know, with the fleet, how to manage it, how to best manage it. There's some systemic changes that are occurring, coming up with work systems to make sure that, you know, we enhance the mileage usage and departments are taking care of their fleet, all that stuff. So a lot of good work is happening. We're looking forward to, you know, reviewing that work. Hopefully we'll be able to get our carpool down a little bit, so that'll help us in the budget. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next up, we have, back in September, I asked for permission to apply for a grant from the Lake Champlain Basin Program, and we were selected for that grant. This is to purchase some brine spreaders, and it is also for the town of Whitehall and the town of Hanson to purchase brine spreaders. So I think I probably need a budget amendment to add this to my budget.
So do I have a motion to
Move it to
accept the
finance.
grant?
Second.
We have to move to finance, or do we have to move to finance? So motion to move to finance. Mr. Kelly, second. Cassie, thank you. Mr. Fisher.
That don't bad.
So- The other towns, if you're interested in brine, you better get on the bandwagon. Any other discussion? Sir,
That funding is only for people in the town and park.
yeah, the Lake Shore, well, the Lake
Right.
Champlain, basin, yeah.
There aren't many left.
Well, if you connect to the feeder canal, technically you have an argument.
Are we still trying for 3?
This one is for, two 4,000 gallon brine spreaders. We purchased 3 with, you guys' generous approval, and we're working on putting those on our trucks now. We haven't got all the birds yet, so they're not in operation yet.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Advocacy days.
So on March 5th and 6th, we go down to Albany and lobby for money. And, in your packet is the talking points that we are going to bring up when we go down to advocate. A couple of our issues with the chips is inflation is out of control and chips doesn't go up, so that sets us back. So in the state's 5-year capital plan of chips, we're gonna lose at least 1 year, and at this rate, probably 2. If you watched, well, I don't know. I think there was a presentation that said chips was held flat from last year. That's not necessarily true. If you look at the state fiscal year enacted 23 to 24, it shows 598.1 million. And the proposed for 24 to 25 is 538. So that was, last year they gave us 60 million, this year they kind of took it away. Well, they definitely took it away. So we're requesting 160 million for chips, and 90 additional for extreme winter recovery. So that is, like I said, the 5th and the 6th. On the morning of the 6th, we have vans, and we take anybody who wants to go to wear an orange shirt.
You get a really snazzy orange shirt. if you go down.
You get to tour all around the Capitol, and we meet with our reps, and we talk to them about our desires for increases.
I'm just the tailgate story.
Oh. They do leave really early, but if you're interested in going, it would be great to have a lot of people go.
Yeah,
Over the years, this has been going on every year for I don't know how many years, right? How successful?
Well, I don't have that data in front of me, but first of all, if we don't go down, they will not increase anything because we're not making our presence. So, we're like putting ourselves on the front of their radar so they know our concerns. But I don't know how much it's raised. I can look it up. How much
No,
it
just
has
how
increased over
there's
the
a
years.
certain level of success.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think you look good this year with an orange t-shirt. Yeah.
They're pretty much one
Everyone
size
just
fits
look
all,
at the
too,
shirt.
so it probably look better than I did.
Well, no, if it's successful, yeah, but I mean, if it's, we're doing it because we have an opportunity to complain and we don't get anywhere with it, then there ought to be some measurement of that it's worth our time.
It's kind of like,
Dealing with our state legislator.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I think in the past, we have come back with some dollar value above what was originally proposed. And I know we did that a couple of years ago, I think. that-
Yes,
But all you need is commitments, right? And it isn't until the budget is adopted, so it's just.
Yeah,
They raised it 60 million last year.
yes.
Yeah.
And then they dropped it back this year.
so we would have a fight for that 60 million.
Well,
That's all. So the more orange shirts we have, the better off we are,
Yeah,
right?
So I know Bob and I went years ago in a group on a different day, but it was still Tin Can Tuesday. Where everybody's there, I mean, it's a packed crowd. The danger of not going is they think you're happy.
Yeah.
And that would be a problem when they're putting in a decrease. If they were just automatically expanding it, if you didn't go, you might get away with that, but when they're putting in for a decrease, if you didn't show up, they'd say, ha, that's not even a problem, that one's gone. Cause they go every year, and all of a sudden you don't show up when you're getting a decrease, they think you're happy with that. So that would just send the wrong, the wrong message.
I'm not trying to discourage anybody from going. I'm just trying to find out how successful we have been over the years.
Well, look at your own
Yes.
town, how much more have you gotten over the years?
Well, last year was a big
It's
year. I
nearly
mean, yes.
doubled in 5 years from what we used to get total. Right now, the 3 other programs other than CHIPS equal what our CHIPS was 5 years ago. So I don't know that that's not successful, but I know if you don't go and they're decreasing, they're gonna decrease you. They're gonna say, hey, they weren't even excited. There's so many million we can take right there. Or may decrease you more. Or they may decrease you.
And given the, the percentage rate I'm hearing is anywhere 25-30% in this area. What we're seeing inflationary year over year right now, that's disturbing. So if we don't go down and fight, we're gonna be in trouble.
and Dan, if you're worried about the towns, I believe the highway association are the ones that help the town people get there, so it's not really out of your problem per se, because the highway association sets it up.
they fund it.
So Deb's gotta be there first thing in the morning to make her presence known, and she's gotta stay really late to make sure her presence is known.
Actually,
Night before, there you go.
She has a different mode of transportation on she. That brilliant.
Wow. Okay, those your talking points. Very impressive. Any other discussions on that? Okay.
I'm gonna budget for an electric broom next year.
That's right. Advocacy. Right?
Wasn't even listening.
He didn't even,
This
he
2000.
didn't even hear you.
Missed it, right? So many times.
Okay.
I have one thing that's not on here. In December, right around Christmas time, there was a slide up on our County Route 10. County Route 10 is in Whitehall and it is, a 1/10 of a mile away from West Haven, Vermont. So a significant portion of the road kind of disappeared. Not really disappeared, but it started sliding. So, what I did was I reached out to DOT because we have a shared services agreement with DOT and they are doing all the legwork on this for the design. So that's going to save us a significant amount of money as opposed to hiring a consultant to design a fix. They came up and did a field visit. Special thanks to Tim Hardy in Public Safety. He flew his drone. They took that data. I don't know what they do it with the data. Yeah. Analyze. So they're working on that. And then we went up and took off a bunch of the load because part of the problem that some slides, not all slides are, you keep adding load, it just keeps sliding more. So we took off a lot of, it's a 1-lane road right now for a very short swing. You can see from both ways, so we don't track big signals up there or anything. But it's likely that the fix will be achieved with our own forces, so that will further save us hiring a contractor to do a thing, but we don't know that yet, so. Any questions on that?
Next up is a topic that has potential for litigation, so, really, for us to be able to discuss it, that is, it's the last topic we'll discuss. We'll come out of executive session and adjourn from there with the committee's permission. Is there anything the committee wants to talk about before we do that?
You're gonna be more specific about this executive session?
Is for potential litigation involving a project.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session, second, James. Team right there.
You know, you got your-